Mr. President, the economic dislocation caused by the COVID-19 pandemic has laid bare the unique development challenges faced by Jamaica and other highly indebted small island developing states. The scale of the disruption threatens to derail Jamaica's advances towards the UN 2030 Agenda and SDGs, which have long been mainstreamed into our Vision 2030, or National Development Plan. We, however, give thanks for resilience as a people and are committed to doing our best by them in working to recover stronger. For context, prior to the pandemic, due to balanced and well-crafted social and fiscal policies, Jamaica had been experiencing an improved macroeconomic environment, significantly lower levels of public debt, historically low levels of unemployment, including a narrowed gender unemployment gap, and renewed confidence in the economy. This environment augured well for advancement on several SDGs, including the fight against poverty, ensuring decent work and economic growth, achieving reduced inequalities, and on climate action. In the year 2020, however, the Jamaican economy contracted by 11% relative to 2019, the worst economic decline in Jamaica in the last 40 years. With the exemption of government services, no industry was spared. Furthermore, earnings from tourism, our largest source of foreign exchange revenue, reduced by more than 70% with obvious knock-on effects. At the same time, costs for healthcare and emergency social and economic support, as we all know, have continued to rise. Mr. President, in order to put the world back on track to achieve the SDGs by 2030, the pandemic must first be controlled in all countries. Despite our best efforts, the greatest challenge to controlling the pandemic for small island states has been a lack of reliable, affordable, and consistent access to vaccines. We hope that recent announcements regarding more equitable redistribution of vaccines from more developed economies to developing economies will materialize quickly to arrest the most immediate threat to development. Mr. President, more broadly, Jamaica has consistently called for 3 major courses of action that will significantly boost our efforts within the decade of action and delivery for sustainable development. First, we must increase concessional financing initiatives of key international financial institutions and adjust eligibility criteria to take account of developmental realities. Since the year 2000, there has been a marked shift in the worldwide allocation of official development assistance in favor of low-income and least developed countries. This attention to their needs is welcome. At the same time, Jamaica and most other SIDS in the Caribbean have been graduated from ODA and excluded from concessional financing initiatives of key IFIs. Jamaica's classification as a middle-income developing country has posed a major hurdle for our sustainable growth and development and has continuing ramifications for our resilient recovery from the COVID-19 pandemic. Second, there is an urgent need to agree, inter alia, on a multidimensional vulnerability index for the development financing of SIDS. Greater flexibility must be exercised by international development partners in accounting for the distinct vulnerabilities and structural gaps of developing countries, rather than relying excessively on GDP or GNI per capita as the basis for development financing. The cyclic impact of climate-related disasters such as hurricanes, droughts, and flooding further reduce our public resources and fiscal space to achieve the SDGs. More attention, therefore, absolutely must be paid to addressing the financial architecture to align with developmental constraints if we are to actualize developmental goals. Third, we must build on last year's discussion at the high-level event on financing for development in the era of COVID-19 and beyond. This was chaired by the Prime Ministers of Canada and Jamaica and the UN Secretary General. Many options had been proposed in areas such as jobs and inclusive growth, recovering better for sustainability, global liquidity and financial stability, and debt vulnerability. We must maintain the momentum towards decisive global action to do different things if we are indeed to achieve a different result. Mr. President, in closing, I urge the international community to reaffirm its solidarity with small island developing states, revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development, and recommit to scaling up financial and technical assistance to build economic resilience. May we never lose sight of the vision that we must leave no one behind, as we seek out new and innovative pathways to recover from the COVID-19 pandemic and to get back on track to achieving the 2030 Agenda and SDGs. I thank you, Mr. President.